I'm on my second countdown, and it is my top 10 favourite Pokemon. So, here are the rules. I'm taking the whole line of Pokemon into consideration, and if I like all of them, then that will be a single entry. And like Foffel's Minion, I'll be diving into all media of Pokemon to describe why I like them. And finally, it doesn't need to be the best in battle or anything like that, it's just me liking it, and you'll see that that's the point soon. And also, if you want to play a little short game, go ahead. Do it every time I say Pokemon in this countdown. I will say it a lot, and there will be a little bit of swearing, so warning. And now, let's begin. Number 10, we have Octillery. Let's see, where do I start with this Pokemon? Well, for one, its design looks great. It's an octopus, which is a great start, and a cannon! So being a cannon, you'll see that I like cannons in this list. Foreshadowing. So, being a cannon, Octillery can learn any beam move apart from Solar Beam, and all other moves which are fired, such as Sludge Bomb and Flamethrower. Pretty much all their moves can be learned, so Octillery makes a great sweeper. Normally I use Sludge Bomb, Flamethrower, Surf and Ice Beam as a good combo for my Octillery. It absolutely owns as a sweeper and a base stat total of 480. That is just impressive. Octillery was actually the first Pokemon I saw due to the fact that I got a figure out of a random Pokeball when I was in town one day. So Octillery was actually the first Pokemon I saw, which makes me like it a lot more. Just nostalgia points keep it up here really in a bit. It's awesome, but still nostalgia keeps it up here a bit. At number 9 we have the Oshawott line. Well, let's start with Oshawott. It's clearly an otter, and otters are just fucking awesome, which makes a good design choice. But with Shell being a removable sword, he easily has an interesting concept which keeps him on here, and he's just amazing in the anime because he's the funniest Pokemon since Psyduck, because he always splits out the Pokeball at any time, from falling in love with any female Pokemon without them using a trap to just going crazy and being awkward as fuck. It has the best voice since Totodile in the anime. Honestly, it's absolutely great. Now let's move on to Do What. Well, Do What, let's just see, when I first got it, I forgot about all the other Pokemon in my party. This is all I used for a while until I evolved it into Samurott. I didn't realize that I had all the other Pokemon. I actually used this for so long. But, well, he's pretty much like Oshawott. He looks a bit better. Well, actually no he doesn't, but he's got 2 swords now, which makes him a lot more powerful, as you can tell. And from the side you can tell that he's fast, being a samurai line. And it's hard to explain why I like him, but I just do, okay? Samurott is now a big change in the line, and lots of people hate that. We can't understand. Just think about this. It has the same evolution concept as Gyarados, Octillery. They're like Pokemon. It's just, even though it's not an otter, it is still, and it is a good idea from being changed to an otter, and a fucking badass one at that. Honestly, I can't understand why this gets so much hate. It's one of the most creative starter lines so far. Number 8 we have Blaziken. Well, let's start with its design. It's a chicken the size of a human, so it obviously kick your ass and then fry it for you, but it's based off cockfighting chickens. So obviously we know that it's very tough with its design,
and I really don't understand why people don't like Blaziken's design. I feel like it's one of the best starter designs, in fact the best end starter design yet, but not the best starter, foreshadowing again, but overall its design's quite good. But it's so good, it has actually been banned from online tournaments, and I have actually never lost using a Blaziken. So I feel like this Pokemon really has some interesting stuff behind it. It has amazing speed and power, and in fact I use this combination to get a good amount of damage. I use the moves Flamethrower, Double Kick, Sky Uppercut, Dragon Claw, and with the high speed and base stat total of 530, it's a force to be reckoned with. And in fact, if you want to do a playthrough of just one starter, always choose Blaziken. Best choice ever. But sadly the only thing it is bad about it is really it started the infamous Fighting Fire starter line, which has been occurring in every Pokemon game since it has started. But you can get over that since he is the original and the best.
Number 7 will have my favourite starter, but final stage of starter, Blastoise. Well, let's start with him. He has giant cannons, and like earlier I said, I absolutely love cannons. And the best thing is, it's the main feature of his design. And he's not an overrated piece of shit like Charizard. Blastoise is also great in battle, like Blaziken. He has a base stat total of 530, so he's obviously a great in battle and has a great charm to him. He can learn some great moves which are obviously fired out with his cannon, such as Hydro Pump, and others which are not fired out with his cannon, such as Bubble, Surf, Waterfall, pretty much any water type move, and you can learn several other moves such as Fighting, Normal, and I think even a Dark move. But honestly, I think Blastoise just has the biggest charm out of all the final stage starters. And frankly, think about this. His cannons can break concrete. So, the only thing I can think of when using Blastoise is... Let's go into Yamask's design. For one, it has an interesting design. It is actually one of the only cute Pokemon which is a ghost type. The only cute Pokemon which I think are ghosts are really Rotom, Mistress, whatever its name is, Mini-Miss, what it's called in the anime, but Yamask, Rotom, Frostlass, they're the only really cute ghost Pokemon, with Yamask included obviously. And it has a bit of a dark backstory. Just listen. I decided to put all the notes from Yamask into a single entry, just to save time instead of reading out its whole Pokédex entries. It was once a human that rose from the grave, and the mask was its face when it was a human. It sometimes looks at the mask and cries, and finally it still has memories from its human life. But this is a bit weird because when it evolves it seems to be evil, so I guess when it evolves it loses its memories. Little advanced battle capabilities now. While Cofagrigus isn't the best ghost Pokemon for battle, I would prefer using Chandelure or Gengar in battle, but it does have some abilities which do make it worth it. But for one, it has the ability Mummy, which can either go good or bad. When a foe touches you with a physical attack, they will get your ability and you will get theirs. So you could end up with a bad ability like Regigigas or Slackings, and that really could turn the battle against you. Or you could get a good ability, say like Bronzong's, and fire damage is cut in half. So really this ability can take the battle either way for you. And it has a base stat total of 483, which is pretty good as you can tell, but it isn't very fast due to being a coffin. And a final note, this Pokemon looks like it should be a dead Machamp. I don't know why, just because it's got forms. Look, you'll find a dead Machamp in there. Oh well, that's really it about Papagrugus. And it only really learns mono ghost types because there's not really much you can learn since it's only a mono ghost type.
You hear that, Dad? You're gonna pay! He's a molester! He's a child molester!
At number 5 we'll have the plant dinosaur Tropius. Well, let's just start with what I think of it. It is a great creative Pokemon, a flying Brachiosaurus which is made out of leaves. And it's also my favourite 3rd generation and grass Pokemon, so it has to be quite high up to be this good. And frankly, it's a dinosaur which you don't need to get out of a fossil, which people were complaining which you didn't get any dinosaurs in Gen 3. Well, Tropius is clearly a dinosaur. I don't know what they were talking about, but oh well. And I've always had him in my team, including on Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, fighting Rayquaza and all that. It had an uncommon typing, flying and grass, which makes it interesting. It's really not that common today. It still has a few weaknesses, but that's not really bad. Overall, it's really just an interesting Pokemon which I can't describe why I like it. It's just one of my favourites. At number 4 we have Magnezone. Magnezone is always a great team member to have, with a base stat total of 535. I mean, holy shit, that thing's a fucking physical wall, and that's better than a lot of starter Pokemon final stages. And that will actually kick all the water Pokemon asses, and probably the grass types but not the fire types. But anyways, let's move on. It barely has any weaknesses, just about fire and fighting is its only weaknesses, and it can't be damaged by ground due to its ability. Also, I'd just like to point out, it is my favourite typing of all time, electric plus steel. Everything's better with steel, honestly, every type. And this is my favourite Gen 4 evolution, which is just great. It's so easy to obtain. All you need to do is level up a Magnetron in Mount Cornet and it'll just evolve, simple as. It's a great design. It's better than adding 2 more Magnemites, the Magnetrons. It's all really creative. Magnetron wasn't the most creative Pokemon, it was just like Diglett but better. Really, there's not really much to say about Magnezone, except if you have one, you will own the battlefield. At number 3 we have Totodile, and I would just like to start off by saying I am a Totodile fanboy, but not a crazy one who goes on Ianoble's 2 videos and spams him with horrible hate. I'm not that kind of fanboy, don't worry. And so let's just start here. I want to put the whole line in here, but if I'm honest, I don't like Croconaw. People say for alligators out here, I just don't like Croconaw. It's too horrible to look at. It's just a horrible design for it's just horrible, okay? And I just wanted to really put a cute Pokemon, and really Totodile is one of the cutest Pokemon ever, sorry to say that, even though it bites you to death. Cute and kills you with style, pretty good. It's really weird how it's based off one of the scariest animals in the world. I would be screaming if I saw Totodile in real life. It would be trying to eat us. Now, I'm gonna say it, I played them Pokemon Mystery Dungeons a lot, and I've always had a Totodile as a partner, so it's had like a bit of a bond just seeing this whole experience with Totodiles all the time. It's kind of like Totodile's my signature partner, so I've had lots of experience with Totodile in games, lots of games, and really,
I love his facial expressions in the games, they're absolutely hilarious. And I would just like to say the most memorable thing about Totodile is him in the anime. Ash's Totodile was hilarious. He had the funniest Totodile ever. All it did was just say Tota over and over again with the best voice ever. Every time I saw him, I always had a big smile on my face. It's just like Oshawott. That's a bit weird. Ash has always had cool water type Pokemon. That's a bit suspicious, isn't it? At number 2 we'll have a Jolteon. Well, let's just start with it. Jolteon's a badass, and its design is awesome. People say it looks like Zapdos. I completely agree with you, which gives it a bit of a legendary feel. I mean, Vaporeon looks like nothing special. It's a fucking creepy fish fox. And Flareon, Flareon's okay. Nothing special, but these were the originals, and Jolteon just looked the best. Not to mention the fact that I had him on XD Gale of Darkness, and he has been a companion since. Little fun fact, my favourite used to be Umbreon until I used Jolteon on Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. So really we got that game to thank for Jolteon being this high on the list. Really, it's not weak to any evolution, because there hasn't been a ground evolution yet. So that just makes it pretty much the only one apart from Umbreon that doesn't get damaged by the others. And I would just also like to say that it has a base stat total of 529, but a lot of its speed, which is not a bad thing. Jolteon's speed is impressive. It is one of the fastest Pokemon I've ever used, and combined with electric type moves, it is a force to be reckoned with. The only problem with this Pokemon, I would say, is that it's a mono electric type, so it doesn't learn a variety of moves really, just lots of electric, so you can be screwed if you go up against ground. But if you ever go up against a flying Pokemon, let's just say they're fucking dead. This video is already long enough, so I'll skip a recap. Just want to get straight to number 1, because that's what you're here for. If you're my number 1 Pokemon. For a Pokemon to be my favourite, I have to like its design, love its typing, moves and stats, and that needs to be good in battle. And only one Pokemon really fits this brief for me, and its name is Fortress. Yeah, none of you were expecting that shit, were yous? Yeah, Fortress is a Pokemon which will always be in my top 10 no matter what. It's just a special Pokemon to me. It's hard to explain why, but let's see if I can explain it well enough. Well, let's start with the design. This Pokemon looks like what you get if you breed an Octillery and a Magnezone, and it's awesome. It floats and it has cannons. I love cannons. Why hasn't Eggman based his fleet off these things? I mean, that would be fucking awesome fighting flying fortresses in Sonic. But different franchise, that's the last side. But you can't actually see what it looks like from inside, which adds a lot of mystery to it, and this makes it relatable to another famous video game character, Master Chief. Yeah, Master Chief. You can't see his face, and he is so loved. You don't see Fortress's face. Fortress is really just interesting, and I would just like to say that it's a bagworm like Wooderwam, which is also a bug and steel, which I do not want to say another bagworm Pokemon. I'm happy with Fortress and shit fling out of Wooderwam. Really hate that Pokemon. It's also typing bug and steel. Is my favorite, the second favorite typing. The only problem is that it has one Pokemon, obviously Wooderwam. It has Escavalier, Durant, Schizo, Fortress. They're really good Pokemon, but Fortress was the only one for the list who could really make it. Now, let's see.
what else can I say about Fortress? Well, for one, Brock had one. Yeah, that just makes it even more worthwhile. If you know the most loved character in Pokemon has to have one. And finally, Fortress is such an underrated Pokemon. It is not even funny. When Pawful Minion said that he liked Artillery, I was actually expecting to see Fortress somewhere on the list, but he never appeared at all. Fortress is a great Pokemon, even underestimated by lots of people. Listen, just give him a try. If you don't like him, that's fine with me, but you just gotta give him a try. I'm gonna give other Pokemon a try, like which ones I hate, like Garchomp. But anyways, finally I would like to say thank you, Logan, for inspiring me to make this list. When he said that he wanted to hear people's top 10 favourites, I had too much to say in the comments, so obviously you know what I decided to do. And if you guys have any top 10 favourites, please tell me, leave a video response, and whatever else you want to do. And thanks again, Logan, for inspiring me. Rock on, man, rock on. And that also, let's end with some credit.
It's a battle, win or lose. It's the friends you make, it's the road you choose. You got the right stuff, so make your mind up. Find the courage inside of you. If you're strong, you'll survive and you'll keep your dream alive. It's the battle frontier. Pokemon, be the best you can